let's talk gambling. And I advise you to share this video with anyone who's into gambling, because you will learn how gamblers can use their desire to win by focusing on trading instead. And I'll give you the tips and strategies you can start implementing today. Let's call it Gamblers Anonymous. And with the gambling market expected to grow by 114 billion in the next 4 years, I think a lot of people are in need of what I'm about to share. Now, let me shock you for a second by showing you something I learned from my pilot friends, the 160 rule. And I believe this applies to what I'm talking about. Basically, let's imagine a plane. Not exactly Picasso over here, so bear with me. We'll call this the gambler's trip. Now, every journey has a starting point and a destination. Well, gamblers, no matter how far they go, will always lose money in the long run because the odds are stacked against them no matter what. So the destination will always be the same, less money than you started with. Now, the rule I learned from pilots is that just by shifting 1 degree on their navigation systems, you end up in a vastly different place. If they fly around the equator 1 degree off course, they land over 900 miles from their target. So what I'm proposing is you shift your gambling brain just 1 degree and take the trading trip instead. You can still satisfy all the same needs, the adrenaline rush, the excitement, the dopamine, the serotonin, while keeping them in check and not letting them take control over you. Basically, you use the same fuel as the gambling plane, but you end up 900 miles from your original target, the gambler's destination, from Poverty Island to Money Island. Now, many of you probably think it's the same thing, gambling, trading, poker. And the thing is, by definition, gambling means risking money to bet on an uncertain outcome. So in that sense, sounds very much like trading, doesn't it?
Everybody knows if a stock is gonna go up, down, sideways, or in fucking circles.
Especially in these current market conditions when trading and gambling seem closer than ever.
So they go up, they go down.
Like a casino in a very unapologetic and transparent way.
There's maybe speculative behavior.
Look, that is a purely speculative game.
It's really a casino atmosphere there.
So let's not call it investing, it's gambling for addiction.
People in Vegas say, let me lose my money like a man.
This wild volatility. A lot of them are winning, they're making a lot of money, they're gambling, and a lot of them are winning.
And cheat codes.
The volume and the volatility.
They're manipulating. I think they're just...
The risk is on the downside. The hopes for earnings.
But I say, let's not jump to any conclusions without examining the 3 key differences between trading and gambling. Number 1, the odds. It works like this. If you spin the slot machine 1,000 times for $1 per spin, you've put in $1,000. The machine will only pay out $950 in return. That's how the casino makes money. You get the illusion of short-term wins because, you know, you could win the jackpot on your first spin. But if you keep playing, which is what people almost certainly will, that's why it's an addiction, you will lose every time over the long term. It works like this. Gambling, short-term wins, but long-term losses. Trading, both short-term and long-term losses, but eventually, once you get the hang of it, it starts going up and up and up and up with small setbacks. That is how it works. When you gamble, it's basically a machine where you put in $1 and get 95 cents back. And 95 is a number you should keep in mind because one study indicates that 95% of gamblers lost money, with big losers outnumbering big winners 128 to 1. And the idea is the same for all gambling games. You might win and you might lose, but your mathematical expectation is to lose because the odds are fixed in favor of the casino. Just don't tell that to Dana White. The odds of you becoming a millionaire by gambling are 1 in 50 million. Now, if that doesn't turn your crank, about 47 million times higher than the odds of you being attacked by a shark. On the other hand, buying stocks or other assets with the same thought behind it is not gambling, because at the absolute minimum, you have a 50-50% chance of the trade being profitable. Whether you look at it mathematically, historically, statistically, the expectation over time is positive. And even when the trade is not profitable short term, if you bought the underlying asset, not the CFD, or a derivative, you still own that asset and it still carries some value. Just Bitcoin traders who bought at the end of 2017 were in the red for 4 years before the price doubled again. 50-50 odds are pretty much unseen anywhere else, but still, traders can increase the odds by following certain rules and using the right strategy. Make sure to watch till the end because I'm gonna give it to you. Difference number 2 is what I'm calling the value. Now, what kind of a positive change, what kind of a value does gambling provide to your life? Does it make you a better person? Do you become smarter? Of course not. In fact, it's one of the most meaningless activities out there because you're basically selling your time to your employer to earn a paycheck, which you then give away to the casino, basically for free, because you don't make money there. Even if you score a big win and think you've made money, the odds of you stopping then and there and walking away with your gains are extremely slim. It takes balls of steel to do that, and given that everything about casinos is purposely made to make you addicted, to pull you in, to excite your primitive emotional brain, not the logical brain, it's extremely unlikely that you will get lucky, hit it big, and just walk away. Now, trading, on the other hand, does bring a lot of value. First of all, you become way smarter. Before I ever opened my first trade, I think for a year or two, I was just reading the news, reading about the economy, the stock market, politics, currencies, and I didn't even consider trading at first. I was just fascinated how so many different events can either make a lot of money for people or make them go broke. So you learn how the financial world works on a micro and macro level. But perhaps the biggest lesson I learned are the lessons that carry over into my daily life when I'm away from the screen. You start seeing your life through this same risk-reward lens. It's the same process, whether buying Nvidia stock at $530 will net me a positive return in 2 years' time, or whether or not drinking this can of Red Bull is gonna make my body and mind feel better in the long term. Probably not, you know. I've also learned to accept that whatever happens in my life, if I truly did the best and things didn't work out, whether it's a trade, a business opportunity, I just have to accept it, it doesn't work out, and move on, instead of holding on to it for dear life, because in trading, holding on to dear life in unprofitable situations, that's a big no-no. It's just the way life works. And if you want to grow your trading account, you will have to master these things. Otherwise, every loss will just make you more and more frustrated. Because unlike growth in your gambling career, which is totally random, growth in your trading career will be directly proportionate to how much you're willing to learn, how much time you're willing to put in, and ultimately, how dedicated are you. Through trading, you can become a master of your own emotions and actions instead of being controlled by them. This is the ultimate value trading can bring to your personal life. Difference number 3, the difficulty. Again, I have to go back to the skill part. Trading is a skill, gambling is based on luck. In reality, opening a brokerage account, an online gambling account, super easy, pretty much identical, takes a few moments, you deposit and you can start. Now, as we learned, making money is not possible with gambling. You can get lucky, but you cannot make money. But you can with trading. Now, of course, making money is hard. I mean, let's be honest, it's hard, especially these days when the whole planet's on lockdown. It's difficult, I get it. And that means you will absolutely have to put in some difficult hours, difficult days into your trading career in order to be able to make money. Of course, there are things like copy trading where we can automatically copy professional traders and what they're doing. In that case, it's actually easier than gambling. You actually don't need to know anything. You can still make money, but that's a bit of a different story. Now, I really don't want to discourage you guys by saying that trading is hard and this and that. We should focus on the positive. You already have 4 advantages if you watch this far. Number 1, the odds are in your favor. Number 2, your value as a human is already higher than before this video, since you're already learning something. If you clicked on this video, you wanted to learn something, and you're already overcoming the difficulty by learning a little bit more about the underlying psychology of trading. And number 4, you're already subscribed to the right channel, where I'll tell you everything you need to know. With that said, grab a piece of paper, maybe a pen, a marker, whatever, because here is my 5-step program to turn you from a gambler into a trader. Number 1, fix your emotions. Gamblers are usually emotional people, which obviously could be one of the reasons why they're addicted to it. It excites them, drives their emotions.
From Dublin, Ireland, the reigning, defending, 155-pound champion of the UFC, the notorious Conor McGregor!
This is obviously a big no-no. When you think with your feelings and emotions, logic usually gets left out the door. You know this from personal situations in your own life. Feeling a little bit groggy in the morning, don't like how somebody looked at you, and suddenly you're not feeling so well. Well, what happens when you jack up your expectations for a trade and it goes completely sideways? You don't get all stressed out, bummed out, angry. You don't go all gambler mentality and blame the hand you were dealt. You learn from your mistake and you move on. Losses are an essential part of trading. Obviously, being completely emotionless, that's almost impossible to do unless you're Buddha or something, but you can definitely work on it. Step number 2, don't cut your losses. This ties into being emotionless, and I wrote all these steps so that one complements the other for the best effect. But cutting losses is the reason why 95% of long-term gamblers go broke. Just one more game, one more spin. What if the next one is my big break? And so they lose and they lose and they lose and they keep losing because the next jackpot is always one step ahead. You need to get out of this mentality ASAP. If it's not a good day of trading or a good week, good. You've now identified that something is not working. You can learn from it and move on. Last 2 trades in a row, good. Shut off the computer, go for a walk, read a book, whatever turns your crank, man. Just don't fall into the trap of what if the next one works. I guarantee you at this point you're already emotional from your losses and you won't make the best decisions going forward. So go out, do a reset, come back when you learn from your mistakes. I'm saying this from my own experience. Step number 3, money has no value. This is probably the only trick you're gonna learn from gamblers. Now what do I mean? Of course money has value, we're not doofuses here. When a gambler takes $10,000 to a casino, he's not thinking, hey, I could buy a vacation for this money. I could get a new TV, maybe a new car. He's thinking, hey, I'm gonna use this money to make some money, which is obviously not true, but you get the idea. Well, the same mindset should be applied to trading. The moment you deposit your $50 or your $200 and you open your first trade, the money has only one purpose, and that is to make more money or learn from your losses. You don't think about it, you don't think about what you could buy with it, you don't put monetary value on your profits or losses. That means you don't think, damn, there goes my sneakers, or damn, I just made enough to buy a new pair of sneakers. The best way to think about it is the money you trade with is like fuel in your car. You put it in there, you can't take it out, and you use it to move forward. The only difference, you have to put in fuel again and again, while your trading fuel can increase as you move forward. Got it? Step number 4, know when you're gambling. Let's take a stock. You've heard it all before, GameStop. A trader will look at the market cap, the cash flow, the growth, the competitors, earnings reports, and then come up with a solid investment thesis that this stock is not worth buying at the moment because the company is not profitable. A gambler will see GameStop all over the news, all over the internet, realize that this stock is on fire at the moment with all the hype, massive jump higher, and he will decide to buy. He'll probably realize that owning shares in just one company is not exciting enough. Why not add a few others? So he'll pump money into other short-term rises. When the losses come, inevitably, he jumps ship, sucks up the loss, and jumps to the next company and the next company. Because you know what? The next big win is right around the corner. Now, both of these guys are trading, but the approach and the mindset differs. Again, the gambler uses excitement and emotion, while the trader uses fact, data, and logic. Ask yourself this question before every trade you take. Am I doing this because the data backs it up, or am I doing it for a gamble? Step number 5, never go all in on a trade. I think this goes without saying, but for all of you gamblers out there, this is one of the crucial trading rules. My rule of thumb, maximum 10% of my equity per investment. So if you're trading with $100, use only 10 per stock. 200, then use 20 per stock, etc., etc. Now, just these 5 rules won't change your gambling brain into trading, but it will certainly, absolutely certainly, will be a great starting point for future progress. Do me a favor, drop a like and share this with anyone who has gambling problems. I know I'm not a psychologist or some self-help guru, but I think that what I laid out makes a pretty strong case that trading can be just as exciting as gambling, but the end result will be much more positive to everyone. Thank you for watching. Go ahead and click the subscribe button if you enjoy my thinking process, or just drop a comment if you disagree. Stay tuned.